When Buddy Hield realized the Kings had his age listed incorrectly, this opened the eyes of NBA officials on all the inconsistencies within the data listed on team rosters. This led the NBA to put new rules in place in 2019, cracking down on teams and players listing wrong information and exposing that some players have been lying about their height. The most common reason that players lie about their height is to avoid being forced to play a certain position, and Durant admitted in 2016 that he shaves a few inches off his official height to avoid being labeled as a power forward. When Durant was still a part of the Thunder, he was listed as 6'9", but after describing his block on Chris Paul, he admitted that he was taller. Durant said, "He's 6 feet tall and I'm 6'11". Durant even talked about his height changing in his eyes when he talked to females. Durant said, "I've always thought it was cool to say I'm a 6'9" small forward. Really? That's the prototypical size for a small forward. Anything taller than that, and they'll start saying, he's a power forward. For me, when I'm talking to women, I'm 7 feet. In basketball circles, I'm 6'9". After Durant made his transition to the Warriors, he spoke publicly about his height once again, saying, "Since I love you guys so much, I was recorded as 6'10" and 3/4 with no shoes on. So with my shoes on, I'm 7 feet. And when he was asked why he says 6'9" for all these years, he said, "I just like messing with people. They ask me so much. Yeah, I just like messing with people." Even his former teammate DeMarcus Cousins spoke to reporters about Durant's height when he said, "I keep telling him to stop standing by me, man. I think people are starting to figure out I might be about 6'7". He's every bit of 7 feet. Every bit." And if you thought the height debate would be over, you're wrong. Since Durant left the Warriors to team up with Kyrie in Brooklyn, the Nets had to give the NBA a full list of all of his attributes, and once again, he's listed shorter than 6'11". 2 weeks ago, Stefan Brody of the New York Daily News reported the Nets recorded Durant at 6'10" after the NBA asked teams to verify their players' height. With Kemba Walker listed as 6'1" his entire NBA career, his move to the Celtics revealed something much different. 6'1" has been Kemba's go-to height when he's talking about himself, but the truth recently came out when Kemba was at the Celtics Shamrock Gala. He was talking about a few things including his height. With everyone expecting Kemba to say something either taller than 6'1" or maybe an inch shorter, Kemba said, "My real height came out a few weeks ago. I'm 5'11". Part of the NBA's new ruling makes players take their shoes off during the height portion, which could easily take off an inch or two, but the NBA set forth an initiative to get players' actual height recorded, so there wasn't any type of false information floating around. The only questionable part of it all is that every player's new measured height is without shoes. With Zion towering over his competition in high school, he was listed as 6'7" at Duke as well, but things might have changed when he made it to the NBA. The Athletic made a comment about Zion saying, "With the NBA installing new rules for teams to verify accurate player heights, as the New York Times reported last week, here's one of the most notable entries so far. #1 overall pick Zion Williamson measured officially as 6'6", league sources say. The Phenom was listed as 6'7" during his freshman season at Duke." As some fans on Twitter spoke about Zion's height, with one fan tweeting, "I don't know why people are making such a big deal about Zion being 6'6" without shoes. He plays bigger than his height listed, and he's an athletic freak. He'll manage." And another fan tweeting, "Zion's listed as 6'6"? He's a shooting guard now." With Tacko Fall being the tallest player the NBA has seen since the likes of Manute Bol and Yao Ming, who towered over players at 7'7" and 7'6", many people thought they'd never see another player that tall. But Celtics rookie Tacko Fall might push them down the tallest players in NBA history list. Before entering the NBA, Tacko was listed at a massive 7'7", and he stuck with that height for as long as he can remember. But recently, the NBA made teams release an updated measurement, and the Celtics listed Tacko at 7'5". When Tacko heard about his height being listed at 7'5", he said, "7'5"? I'm 7'6" without shoes." NBA 2K also tweeted a picture of Tacko and said that players are now fit to match their real life height, which put Tacko at 7'5". And he quoted the tweet saying, "I'm at least 7'6" though. With JJ Barea being one of the smaller guards in today's NBA, his height has moved drastically over the years, but what is he really? For years now, JJ has been listed in ranges from 6 foot to 6'1", but even JJ knows that isn't true. During Dirk Nowitzki's retirement, he tried having some fun with his former teammate JJ when Mark Stein tweeted saying, "For years now, some players have been listed as taller and some shorter than they really are. The league clearly wants to change that." And Dirk quoted the tweet and said, "At JJ, you okay?" JJ said he used to laugh when they introduced him as 6 foot or 6'1" before the game because he knew it wasn't true. JJ even said, "Me and about 20,000 other people in the arena knew that was a lie. I'm 5'10" on a good day." With Bradley Beal always being listed around 6'5", we learned this year that his height magically changed. In 2016, after casually announcing his contract extension, Beal also told reporters that he grew an inch over the summer, which if he was previously listed as 6'5", would mean he's about 6'6", right? Beal said, "I'm only 23 years old. I know there's a lot of kids who would die to be in the situation I'm in." And when talking about growing an inch, he said, "One is better than none." If all this is true, it means that since 2016, Beal has been 6'6", but when the NBA made teams file new measurements this year, he shrunk. This year, the Wizards tweeted out the roster of every player's listed heights next to it, and Bradley Beal's height was listed as 6'3", making him shorter than John Wall. Beal didn't comment on the adjusted height, but everyone on Twitter has been bashing the Wizards for this because taking off your shoes doesn't take away 3 inches. Now with Bill Walton coming in as one of the tallest retired players in the NBA, a long clash with height between him and Hakeem Olajuwon is finally settled. According to Walton's Wikipedia page, he measures in at 6'11". However, during the 1980 1986 finals, when the Celtics and Walton played the Houston Rockets with 7-foot Hakeem Olajuwon, it was obvious that Walton towered over Olajuwon, despite being listed as an inch shorter. When confronted about the situation in a press conference, Walton responded by saying, "Floor is warped." Later on, it was discovered that Walton is indeed 7'2", and that he didn't like the reputation that came with being 7 foot tall. With Charles Barkley being one of the best rebounders the game has ever seen, you'd assume his height would have been pretty tall, and that's exactly what he wanted you to think. You probably know that Barkley is one of the best rebounders in NBA history, but the more impressive stat is that it came from someone listed as 6'6". However, recently, the TNT analyst openly stated that he lied about his height to get taken more seriously by scouts. And Barkley admitted to being just 6'4". A 6-foot high school point guard is much more likely to get a hard look by college scouts than a 5'10" or 5'11" point guard, just because they have a stereotypical point guard frame. And some players over 7 feet want to avoid that they're not mobile or too slow to play power forward, so they ask team staffers to list them as 6'11". Other instances include players slightly under 7 feet tall wanting to be listed at over 7 feet tall to attempt to spark more intimidation at opponents. In college, Charles was listed as 6'6", because a 6'4" rebounding guard would have not gotten a second look when it comes to scouting. Hey yo dog, you want to know how to grow an extra 5 to 6 centimeters a week? You just gotta click on this video on the screen, dog. Literally that simple. You just click on this video on the screen, boom, you start growing by centimeters by the second, and before you know it, you're like a centipede. Just click on the video.